Nupur in today's podcast. Welcome from Psychogy and 1 Million Women podcast. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Nupur Lanwani. So, welcome Nupur once again, and thank you so much for spreading love, happiness, and right now we're gonna start. Uh, it's a wonderful insights related to diabetes, right? So, yes,
Thank you, Prateek. Thank you so much for having me here. I think this is a wonderful platform, and you guys are doing a great job. Getting women together and empowering them and making them realize their potential. So wonderful. Thank you.
awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Nupur. So, my first question to you, Nupur, is can you tell our audience who is watching and who is listening to us a bit small five-liner introduction about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Nupur Lalwani, and I live with type 1 diabetes, which is a specific kind of diabetes. I've had it for most of my life, for 25 years. And I'm also a certified diabetes educator and a coach. And I run an NGO called Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation.
Okay.
So that's a short introduction about me.
Okay, lovely, lovely. So, Nupur, as you said that type 1 diabetes, right? So, can you please
Right.
specify like what exactly is diabetes? Because most of the people are confused between the online information and the reality, you know. So, I
Correct.
want to know what is actually diabetes and what is the types of diabetes.
Right. That's a great question to begin with, I think, Pratik, because a lot of people, like you correctly mentioned, are very confused about, the authenticity of information on online. And for every little thing, we may not really be able to ask a doctor, right?
True.
So basically, there are two major types of diabetes. There are many types of diabetes, but I'll talk about the three major types. One is type 2 diabetes. And you notice, I mean, I said I was type 1, but I'm
Right.
talking about type 2 first because that is the most common type. Most of the people in their family, they have somebody or the other who has type 2 diabetes, either your grandparents or parents or anybody in the family.
Right.
Generally, when they say इनको sugar हुआ है या ये गोली ले रहे हैं, they're taking some kind of tablets.
Right.
Usually, that indicates that it is type 2 diabetes. So type 2 diabetes basically is a lifestyle related disorder, and it happens when it's a combination of weight gain, of lifestyle, of exercise, of all of these things. And when these things get disbalanced, that's when type 2 diabetes usually occurs.
Okay.
Type 1 diabetes, on the other hand, the one which I have, it's an autoimmune disorder. So
Okay.
what that means is that my diabetes didn't happen because I did not exercise or I did not eat healthy food. It happened it is just an act of nature. So in our body we have an organ called the pancreas, and the pancreas produce insulin automatically in the body of healthy individuals.
Sure.
Now insulin is a very necessary hormone for living. जिसकी बॉडी में बन रहा है, they don't realize it, they take it for granted.
Right.
But in my case, my body decided to stop making insulin one fine day. I was 8 years old, I was in class 3, and this was just before my final exam.
Okay.
So overnight, I was diagnosed with something called type 1 diabetes. Nobody knew, my parents didn't know, I didn't know. It was a big shock. And with type 1 diabetes, you have to take multiple injections daily. So every time you have your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, whatever you eat, you have to take an injection along with it. So on an average, a person with type 1 diabetes takes anywhere between 4 to 6 injections daily, and they also check their sugar on a glucometer, which most of you would have seen, around on an average of 5 to 6 times a day.
Okay.
So this is the major difference between type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is the one where insulin is not made, and you have to take it externally. Type 2 can be such that people have to take tablets or insulin. It depends, but it's a lifestyle disease. Then there's also something called gestational diabetes, and I'm bringing this up because this is a platform for women.
Right.
Gestational diabetes is a kind of diabetes that you would get when you have pregnancy. and usually that diabetes starts during the pregnancy, and then it goes away after the baby is born.
Oh,
um, yeah, so it is only there for that duration when the lady is pregnant with the child, and later on it goes away. But nowadays, what has been happening is the cases of gestational diabetes are soon enough getting converted into type 2 diabetes, which is
okay,
really sad and also very dangerous, because a young woman, I mean, I'm assuming women would be giving birth in the age of, let's say, 20 something to up to maybe 40 years, roughly that window.
right.
Then they end up getting type 2 diabetes, and they have to live with it for the rest of their life. So roughly these are the three major types. There are other smaller subsections as well.
Okay, okay. It's too tough, Nupur, to know that you need to take injection for each meal, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So let's get back to the childhood. When you found out that when you were 8 years old, right, and you were in class three, and when you found out that you got the type one diabetes, so what was the condition? What are the challenges you faced from your family and from your professional life as well?
Yeah. So Pradeep, I was just a school child, and I didn't know anything. So when I got diagnosed, my grandmother also had type 2 diabetes, and she said, "Don't worry, it's just you just have to take some tablets, and it's all good."
Okay.
But then we
So, but
soon
is
realized,
there are
yeah.
there any symptoms of diabetes one that you got to know about that?
Yes, yes, yes. Thanks for asking, Pratik. I should have said this myself. So there are, if you notice any of these symptoms, if you notice excessive thirst, excessive hunger, a lot of weight loss, like, I was actually eating more than my father. Being an 8-year-old child, if my father would eat maybe three or four rotis, I would be eating six rotis in one
Oh
meal.
my God.
And despite eating so much, I was losing weight, and I was becoming my bones were visible, and my parents thought initially that, okay, it's a growing child, let her eat, no problem.
Yeah.
So this is a symptom that we missed, and we did not know. So excessive hunger, thirst, excessive urination, fatigue, tiredness, these are all signs and symptoms of type 1 diabetes. And if anybody of you who is watching this if you feel that your child, or type 1 can happen at any age, so you don't have to be a child, you can be an adult, you can be an old person. And if it happens, what you need to do is go to a doctor, get a blood test done, and they will be able to diagnose whether you have it or not. So that's the best thing that we can do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So coming back to my childhood, I was diagnosed just before my exams, but मुझे exam से छुट्टी नहीं मिली. I had to still give my exams.
Okay.
So there was that, and it was a big shock for the family, because there was no case in my family where a child had got something called type 1 diabetes, and had to take injection every day, so that was the shock. But for me personally, I was never scared of injections or needles. Even once a year, if we would do an annual test, I would not be afraid of the needles. It was fine.
Okay.
So when I got diabetes, and I was taken to hospital, I was admitted late in the night, and next day my parents came and told me that, okay, you know what, the doctor has explained to us, and you have something called type 1 diabetes. So I
Okay.
said, okay, fine, no problem.
Hmm.
So then my mother said, no, 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 you're not understanding. It's not diabetes. You have to take injection every day, and maybe you have to take it more than one time. So you have to take it every single day till the time that you are alive. You have to take injections.
Hmm.
And in my mind, as a child, Pratik, I said, okay, so what? We'll deal with it. It's fine. I'm not afraid of needles. And I have my family, my parents, and my sister at that time. She was barely 1.5, 2 years old. So she was really tiny. And my parents had to look after a very small baby, and they had to look after another child who was 8 years but diagnosed with a life threatening, condition which they knew nothing about. 5 minutes ago, they did not know what it is, and suddenly they have to learn everything So the learning curve was huge.
Mm.
So it was a shocker for the family, but for me personally, I was cool.
Okay, okay. So, coming back to Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation, right? Uh, what exactly, what was in your mind when you found out that, let's start this initiative or foundation, and what exactly you guys do into this?
Yeah. So, Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation is a registered NGO, and we basically want people with diabetes to feel like they're not alone. Because often it happens, that India is a country where there are so many diabetics. I mean, there are at this point nothing less than 70 million diabetics, and by the year 2030, India is probably going to be, world leader. I mean, already we're at number two. We might have around 98 million diabetics. That's like everyone. It's almost like हर किसी के घर में कोई ना कोई होगा जिसके पास जिसको डायबिटीज है.
Yeah.
So this is a I felt that this was a great opportunity for all of us to come together and to do multiple things. One, not feel alone and not feel depressed that why me. इतना बड़ा टेंशन, इतना बड़ा हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम मुझे क्यों, या मेरे फैमिली में, या मेरे बच्चे को क्यों. दैट वाज फर्स्ट. सेकंड was to basically also create some awareness and do some advocacy on a larger level. So we do these awareness programs in schools, in corporates. We talk about a healthy lifestyle. We talk about type 2 diabetes, which is preventable. Type 1 you cannot prevent. If it comes, it comes. You have to just accept it. But in the case of type 2, if you exercise properly and you eat right, and if you do that from young age, from childhood, or from teenage, then when you grow up, you might not get diabetes.
Okay.
So we do these activities. We do monthly meetups. We run several projects. One of them is called the Blue Circle Buddy Project. Now this is one that's really close to my heart. So basically, it's a diabetes and mental health helpline, and it's a app based helpline. So we started our own app. It's available on Android and iOS both. It's called Blue Circle Diabetes app, and the helpline is on that app. If you open the app, you will see the name of Buddy Project on the left hand side, and all the people that you see on the app, all volunteers. They are voluntarily giving their time and effort to this cause, and they are people who are living with diabetes. So we speak 9 different languages, everything from English, Hindi, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Punjabi. I mean, you name it, we speak that language. We just want people to feel that they are not alone, and that, even if they can't speak English or Hindi, at least they can speak to somebody who can understand their mother tongue and can give them that sort of counseling and support as a friend.
Okay.
So our volunteers are trained, of course. They're trained by Chelaram Hospital, which is in Pune, and they're also trained by Center for Mental Health Law and Policy, which is the ILS, Indian Law School in Pune.
Okay.
So this is one of the things we do. Apart from this, we run other projects. One is called Project Gaia, which is a project where we want to empower women and girls living with diabetes in India.
Okay.
So now you might wonder, why just women? Why not everyone? I mean, already we are helping out a lot of people with diabetes, but specifically the reason for selecting this subcategory of women or young girls is because there are a lot of additional issues that this group faces. I mean, we all know that living in India as a woman is a very different experience from anywhere else in the world. There are a lot of social restrictions, cultural restrictions. There is the whole pressure of getting married. There is all kinds of issues. And for women who live with a chronic health condition like diabetes, where they have to check their sugar 10 times a day, they have to take insulin 5 times a day, they
Hmm.
cannot afford to slip up on their health. And usually most women, they do slip up more than the men, and the reason being that they have to take care of the house, they have to take care of their job, their kids. They don't end up giving any time to themselves. So even if today she doesn't have diabetes, maybe few years down the line, because of this kind of lifestyle, she would get type 2 diabetes. So this is something we are really passionate about.
Okay.
And We also are, we do these weekend workshops, Pratik, online. So we have our own platform,
Okay.
and we call it Blue Circle Workshops. They are free and they are open to anyone. Anyone can join. And these things happen on our platform. So sort of like a Zoom, except that it happens on Blue Circle platform. So
Okay.
people just need to register, and they can join whichever class they like. So sometimes we call doctors and they talk about, healthy eating, or taking care of your eyes along with diabetes, or taking care of your kidneys or heart. Or sometimes we have a recreational program like a Zumba class. We just basically want to create that sort of community feeling that, don't worry, we're all together, and nothing will happen.
That's really very nice and wonderful initiative, Nupur, I must say. And as you said that you are specifically focusing towards that project, towards the women. Can you specify what exactly are there is a difference between the other people and women specific problems? Can you name them, or can you give some example if it is possible, like specific to women?
Yes. So I'll give a few examples. I'll keep it anonymous because, of course, I
Yeah,
would
sure.
not want to share the name. So there was a case once where a young lady who was living with diabetes, she got married, and we all know that the focus on getting married is very high in Indian society.
Yeah.
So ठीक है, शादी कराना है, करो करो, and her parents took the decision of not informing the boy's side that she has diabetes.
Okay.
Now that is absolutely wrong. They should have informed. But on looking at it from their side, their fear was that, if we inform them, then they will reject our daughter. And that had happened previously, that she had got rejected. So they took that risk and they did not inform.
Okay.
Now this girl was on insulin, and her husband, her in-laws, nobody knew she had diabetes. Um, Luckily for her, her parents were staying close by. So, she would go home, she would take her insulin, and she would come running back. And no one was able to realize that, she is hiding this vital piece of information.
Yeah.
Now, naturally, she was not taking care of her health because
So even
she
the
was not able.
husband was not knowing that.
He was not knowing that because there is no external thing on the body wherein you can make out that, somebody has
Yeah,
diabetes.
true.
Yeah, she seems like absolutely normal, but just for taking that injection, she would run home, take the injection, come back, and they would think, okay, she's just gone to meet the mother or something.
Mm.
So this continued for many years, and then, when the people got to know, there was a big problem because, there was talk of separation, and there was all kinds of mess had happened. I
Right.
mean, now the parents did it with a good intention because they wanted their child to be settled and happy, but they didn't realize that that good intention was actually spoiling the child's life, the girl's life. So it is such kind of issues which we want to, especially talk about, because um, these are issues which are very unique to the place where we live in. Maybe abroad, the issue is not much about stigma or taboo. Maybe there are different issues. Like in America right now, with the presidential debate going on, a lot of my diabetic friends in the US, their concerns are completely different. Their concerns are more related to cost of insulin and so expensive.
Exactly. Yeah.
And while that is a very important factor for us also, but these are things that we look
It's
at.
mainly the typical mindset of the parents. Ki,
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't focus on the health, but we focus on the more of ritual. You can say rituals are also important, but there's no balance between the comparison and priorities. That's what I
Pratik,
feel.
that line about log kya kahenge,
Yeah.
matlab that is so true in this
That
case.
is
People
like
are,
99%
yeah,
in India, and that's the worst part.
yeah.
Truly, truly. Okay, okay, okay. So, you said about the Blue Circle Diabetes Help Circle, right?
Yeah.
So, are these the same volunteers you were talking about, which are for the Diabetes Foundation, right?
Yes, yes. So on the helpline, I mean, if anyone's watching, I'll share the link with Pratik as well. If we have a particular web
Sure.
page wherein on our through our website you can
Yeah.
see all the details about the helpline,
Sure.
and people can download the app, and it's a free service. There is nothing because we all are doing it because we have gone through these issues. We don't want others to suffer.
Right.
But having said that, we realize that putting in time into anything, even if it is voluntary, it takes a lot of effort because people are a lot of the people who are volunteering on the helpline, they have full-time jobs, they have house, kids, they have a lot of other responsibilities. Despite that, all of my friends are also helping out other diabetics. So we
Right.
get calls from, we've been getting calls from Bihar and Haryana and interior part of Maharashtra, Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Calcutta, Goa, and the age group also, Pratik is very varied. So there are young girls, there are guys.
Mm.
Recently, one of us got a call from a very old gentleman in his 70s, and he has type 2 diabetes, and he was calling and speaking to one of our volunteers and mentioning that मतलब खाने पे इतना रिस्ट्रिक्शन है कि जीने का मजा ही निकल गया है.
Yeah.
So he was frustrated. I mean, he has to follow a diet and take his medication, but the fact that he could share it with someone who can understand without judging him and without telling him this is very bad, because we ourselves are living with diabetes, so we get it. So at the end of the call, that uncle, the old man, he felt quite sort of
Relax.
placated and yeah, relaxed. And then he accepted and he said, yeah, sure, I will take care. I understand that even my kids are telling me for my
Right.
benefit, but I was frustrated and I didn't really know what to do.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nupur, have you ever been through the worst part? Worst part, ki right now, similar teenagers or women, they think that if I have diabetes, that these are the restrictions which I have to go through the whole life, and have you also gone through the same restrictions part, and log kya kahenge again, and the mental thinking that no, अब मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है, uh, I can't take it anymore. So, what is your one message to all the women and people right now who are watching us, and who are listening to us, and even tell us about your experience if you have gone through this.
So my one message is that सबको ये feeling आने वाला है because in most of the cases diabetes is going to be lifelong, especially if it is type 1. With type 2, if you catch it early and you aggressively get after it, it might get reversed.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it might continue. So just like a normal life, there will be some good parts, there will be some bad parts and frustration. And at that point, when you feel really down and low and out and depressed, just remember that it's just a phase. It's only temporary, and you're going to come out of it. I also went through this kind of a phase. Luckily for me, my parents, my sister, my friends, family, everyone were extremely supportive. I did not have this problem of diabetes being a stigma.
Mm.
But having said that, that doesn't mean I didn't have any problem. I did have a problem while I was growing up because I got detected when I was 8 years old, which is very, very young. So when I was a teenager, and when you're a teenager, you're a little bit rebellious. You're like, I'm not listening to my mother, I'm not listening to my father. So when you have a child with diabetes who is going through hormonal changes and in the teenage 14, 15, 17 years of age, um, if they're not taking care of their food and their medication properly, their blood sugars are going to be really high, and high blood sugars can cause complications in the future. So it would have been a great struggle for my parents to sort of, treat me like a normal child also, and yet remind me that listen, there is this framework that you have to be within, and that is for your own health, nothing else. So I did struggle with that. I did struggle with very high sugars for many years. And, I just want to say that it's fine. It's okay to be in that position. And the faster you accept it and you move on, the better and the safer it is for your health. So eventually, of course, I realized that if I don't take care and tomorrow something goes wrong with my health, I will be the one to blame. There's no other person, or there is even though my family will support me
Yeah,
and they will take care of me, but why should I be a burden on my family? I think no woman or nobody actually wants to be a burden on their family or their anyone close to them.
true.
So somewhere or the other, that thing sort of clicked in my mind, and I thought, okay, now that's it. I should, fix my issues, and I should just keep moving
Being
on.
a strong
So
woman now and even supporting other people. Lovely. Nupur, as you said that you have to take injection for each and every meal, right? Abhi to even like I have two meals on daily basis, like breakfast and lunch. I skip my dinners most of the time. So even if I think as a normal person that if I have to take an injection for every meal, it's like getting a goosebumps. So I want to know how is that feeling for each and every injection, and now you are used to that. I know that, but still, the people who get diagnosis with that and just who want to start with the each and every injection, or they are just skipping it for some reason. So, and again, are there any side effects of that?
no, insulin helps us to stay alive. So if you don't take insulin and you don't take it for a long time, I mean, I'm saying it very crudely, but the end thing is that you will die because it is necessary for living, and you will die a very slow and painful death if you are type 2, and if you're type 1, you will go into something called a diabetic ketoacidosis and coma. So you don't want to stop your insulin. If your doctor has told you to be on insulin, then you better follow that instruction.
Right.
And also, Pratik, you were asking about how is it in terms of taking injection every time when you're
Yeah.
eating. Even though I was a child and I was not scared of needles and I was not a fussy kid, but still, of course, कहीं ना कहीं पे मुझे वो literally चुभा, because not just the injection, but the fact that, shit, why me? Like every time I have to take, sister doesn't have to take, my friends don't have to take. If I go to school, nobody else is taking. If I'm writing my exam, I am the one that has to go out and check my sugar and take my injection and eat my snacks. Nobody else had that kind of situation.
Right. Obviously.
But yeah, but we just have to realize that this is these are the cards that we are dealt, and this is a situation which we have been given, and there's a reason that this situation has been given to us is because we are strong enough to handle it. So that is something, and also, I mean, the faster one gets used to it, the better. And also, I want to say that it was really tough for parents. So my mom, I mean, everybody's mom is strong, but the reason I'm saying it is because if my mom would be working in the kitchen and she cut her hand while cooking or cutting vegetables, she wouldn't even mention it. We would not even come to know till we saw her coming and you
Hmm.
know, uh, putting a band-aid or something. But when it came to giving injections to me, my mother, her hands would shake. She was not able to, she was so upset that my child has to get pricked every single time.
Yeah.
So eventually it would be my dad giving the injections, and we used to make a big joke out of it at home that dekho, mom is getting scared. But it really affects the parents.
Yeah.
Parents go into depression, and then we have to sort of counsel them, and in some cases they might have to see a psychologist or a psychiatrist
Yeah.
because they can't handle that
I was
pressure that
about to say that, I was about to ask you that there must be so many psychological problems due to this. Yeah.
yeah, lots of them. And actually, Pratik, you're absolutely right. The psychological part of it is not addressed as much as it should be, because people think
Yeah.
that अच्छा ठीक है, diabetes है, it is a physical condition. It's a physical
Right.
disease where you have to take insulin, you have to check your food, you have to exercise, and it's all about the body. But it's not just that. Diabetes puts a huge mental pressure on your mind as well.
Yes.
So right now, as I'm talking to you, Pratik, I also I have my phone next to me, and on my phone, thanks to technology, I can see my blood sugar reading.
Hmm.
So I have, like, 5 or 10% of my brain is occupied always, permanently,
Right.
365 days, 24/7. It is occupied for diabetes. Sometimes that percentage goes up because something happens and I have to deal with it there and then. Even though I would consider myself well adjusted and I've had it for 25 years, no issues. But still, it takes a lot of decision making throughout the day. So if
True.
I eat my breakfast, I have to think, okay, if I'm taking my breakfast, how many units of insulin to take? If I want to eat something extra today, then should I take 1 unit or 2 units extra? If I take that extra, then after 2 hours, is my sugar going up or not? So
True.
other people are having a normal life, but somewhere in the back of my mind, I might not be saying it, but that pressure is there. So people need to understand that the psychological pressure of having a medical condition is immense.
Right. So there is no cure for type 1, right?
Yeah, there's no cure for type 1.
Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. So I want to know, in short, ki, as we had a call before the interview, you are born and bottom in from Mumbai, right?
Yes, that's
Okay, okay. So in short, how was your journey from Mumbai till Pune, and which all cities you visited? How was your work and what you did?
yeah. So Pratik, I lived in Mumbai for most part of my life. I also lived in the Gulf when I was very young because my parents were working there.
Okay,
So a couple of years when I was in preschool, we were in Dubai and Sharjah. Then we came back to Mumbai. And then around 5 to 6 years ago, I shifted to Pune. Uh, the reason for shifting was because of a job, but the larger reason was because I also wanted to be independent and be able to live on my own. Even though I love my family a lot, my parents, my younger sister, but still, you know, especially for women, it is very important that you take independence in all forms, whether it is financial independence or it is being able to live alone, खुद का घर चलाना. It takes a lot of effort. Usually, if you're staying with a family, people do things, like mother might do something, father might help with something else.
yeah,
So that's how I ended up coming to Pune, and I could also convince my family that hey, if something happens, you guys can just drive down, and it's so close by. It's just 3 4 hours away. So
okay,
that was the way how I ended up in Pune. But I want to tell you, interesting thing that I just remembered. So I also like traveling, once in a while, and I remembered this because now, thanks to Corona, there's no traveling. We can only travel and visit each other's living rooms through Zoom or through some other
yeah,
platform.
yeah,
So what I did this one time was I love train travel. Okay, I mean, if somebody told me you want to go by plane or train, I would say I want to go by train because I
okay,
really enjoyed trains. And बचपन से whenever we would go in train, डब्बे खुलते थे खाने के, and kids are playing, and it was like I have wonderful memories of trains.
right,
So there is this one train called the Vivek Express, and in India it is India's longest train.
okay,
So it starts from Dibrugarh in Assam, and it goes up until Kanyakumari in the south.
South,
Yeah, so it is the longest distance train in India, and in the world, I think it's the eighth longest or something. I don't recall now, but it's a very long train journey, covering thousands of kilometers. And I read about it somewhere a couple of years ago, Pratik, and I thought, wow, what an adventure! I must go for this train journey.
yeah,
So then I started my research. I started finding on the internet, अच्छा कौन सा train है, क्या है, कब ticket मिलता है, all that. And then the next important thing was, who should I go with? So because this was, I mean, I was an adult. This was maybe around maybe 6 7 years ago. Um, so I told my parents that there's this train, and I really think it's going to be fun. I'm going. So my parents were like, okay, fine, make a plan with your friends and go. Now, every friend that I asked, they would laugh at me and they would say, are you crazy? I mean, who's going to sit in the train for 5 days? If you
right,
ask us to come for a 5 day trip to Goa or somewhere, we'll come, but we are not coming by train.
yeah,
So I was getting really perplexed, because I really wanted to go. I like train. And so I told my parents, what, no one is coming with me. Why should I, take stress? I will go alone. So my parents freaked out for multiple reasons. One, I mean, of course, that I have diabetes and I'm traveling alone, and if something happens, or if my sugar goes low, or if I faint, who will take care of me? Who will
Yeah.
know how to, where to take me, what to do? And secondly, for a woman to travel alone for 5 days in a train, and for no reason except for the joy of traveling. I was not planning to go to Kanyakumari. There are easier ways to reach Kanyakumari. Just for the heck of it, I wanted to do it. So initially they were like, no, 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 it's very dangerous and all. And then my parents had gone to Ladakh on a trip.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so then I thought this is the perfect opportunity. Let me just plan my trip and book my tickets. And what they do, they will get angry for 1 day, but after that they will say it's okay, don't worry. And that's exactly what happened. So I ended up doing this trip, and I did most of it solo. Traveled around in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, in Assam, and I mean, I guess we can do anything that we want to do if we are, if we are intelligent, and if we take the correct decisions, and we're in the right place at the right time. Nothing can stop you. The fact that you're a woman, or the fact that you live with a chronic medical condition, none of these things are boundaries as
Yeah.
such.
So true.
Yeah.
It's totally inspiring, and as you said that it is right. It's all about your mindset and taking that one step ahead. If you do
Correct.
that, each and every path will unfold in front of you. Right. So yes, Nubur, that's it from my side, and thank you so much for sharing the lovely insights about you, about your journey, and about diabetes. And I'm sure I'll put all the information about Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation into the description, and even the website and the app link. Okay, so everyone can download the app, and just they have any issues, any support, and any help you need about the diabetes, you can just contact Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation. Okay, thank you so much, Nupur, and thank you so much again for spreading love, happiness, and and spending your precious time. Thank you so much.
So much, Pratik, for firstly creating this platform, and I've been following the interviews with the other inspiring ladies as well. Each one is truly spectacular, and I think you're doing a wonderful job. I mean, women supporting women is one thing, but we need people like you as well. We need men like you, wherein women do get that support. So
Thank you
hats
so
off
much.
on doing a great job.
Thank you so much, Nupur. And
Thank
even,
you.
yeah, if Blue Circle Diabetes Foundation need any help regarding Psychogy and 1 Million Women podcast, it is just one call away.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Pratik. Bye.
Bye.